Okay, we all know that men and women think differently, especially when it comes to love. So, what if there was a book designed just for men that read just like a car manual, because we know they know how to read those, with simple-to-use tips about relationships? Well, that is what the author of Two for the Road had in mind when she wrote such a guide, and Gale Stanton is here to share it with us and tell us more. This is a genius idea.
Yes.
Thank you.
Way to go, Gale.
Well, it started with a group in San Diego, girls like us, and we were all married to, most of us, doctors, and started there, and they said, Gale, do something, help us, because they were reading multiple books on relationships, and their men were reading zero. So
talk about how this book is designed and what the key points are that you're explaining.
Well, the key point, it's actually for every age. It starts in dating, which would be the test drive. And then it goes through purchasing the vehicle, which is marriage. And then you get into troubleshooting and when to contact, customer service, things like that.
That is hilarious.
There's everything in between.
All of my relationships have just stayed at customer service.
And I love it. She's even got a little warning. There's a warning sign over here.
Who's customer service? Is that like maybe her girlfriends?
Well, customer service is more, it would more along the lines of clergy, counselors, and then for people, if you're married to someone that has issues with addiction or, you know, that kind of thing, then you have to see physicians and psychiatrists. But that's, you know, that's the very, very end. I mean, there's a lot of things to do in between and a lot of awareness that can be brought about with the points in the book. So, you know, it starts with the history of the vehicle. I mean, when you, what I tell people is, in dating, when you go to buy a car, and you're looking for that little Mercedes, don't expect it to haul lumber. It's not going to do that.
That's right.
So you really have to look at what you want and seek it out. And someone isn't going to be everything. And so it starts there. And
do you give like the proper questions that you should be asking when you're dating?
We do. There are interactive exercises, because what I found when I was with the group of girls in California, they were talking about, they would nag their husbands about all the points that they read in a book, and it became a monologue. And what happens with this, how I designed this, is so that they could read it quickly, simply, get a couple points from it, and have more of a dialogue.
And refer to it often.
And refer to it, and then there are interactive exercises about cash, babies, children, all that kind of stuff, because it amazes me how many people get married and then they say, I didn't know he didn't want to have children. How does that not come up?
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a first date question, I think.
Maybe
is that why I'm single?
Now, you are also a counselor, so how much of your information that you have, your knowledge on counseling, how much did that go into this book?
All of it. I mean, personal experience, counseling, education, the whole thing. I took basic principles from every relationship book. In fact, I do have, if people want to delve deeper into it, I have recommended some books both on dating and marriage. So this is just, you know, get your feet wet, get the conversation started, and then you can go deeper and deeper into it.
And then you also had a little help from a man himself.
Yes, I did. Actually, my new husband, I just got married, so I do believe it, you know, so we just got married October 31st, and so he helped me with it. He was very encouraging, and actually, in showing it to some of his guy friends, they were like, oh, this is great, because they can relate. It's got diagrams. Other than naked women, it's, you know.
It's everything a man would want.
Everything a man wants.
What comes after the test drive in the manual?
Well, after the test drive, you're looking at the history of the vehicle. You're looking at, and the other thing is, when you're looking at a vehicle, look under the hood. Take a look at the family. Take a look at the educational levels and all that kind of stuff. And then when you finally decide, okay, let's get married, then what I begin with is preventative care, because you have to know what to expect. Everybody tells you it's hard work. What does that mean? The new car smell goes away.
Yeah.
It does. And they say between 18 months and 2 years is when the new car smell's gone. Now, you're not going to buy a new car because the smell goes away. So you have to expect that that's going to happen and what to do about it. You have to expect scratches and dents.
Yeah.
It's going to get a little tarnished. You have to replenish, refuel. And so that's all in the book as well. how to do that. And
It's going to get a lot of miles.
yeah, yeah, get that.
That warranty's going to run out.
Let me tell you, get those checkups. And that's another thing that I have. I have an exercise where, you check in with each other, because 5 years, 10 years down the road, you're not the same people, and you may not have the same goals and aspirations, but you don't sit down on a daily basis and really go over that. Are you still feeling the way that we used to, or where are we going? Are we on the same path? Or are we sort of veering off into different directions? And how does that work?
And what would you say when people say marriage is hard or marriage is a lot of work? How would you define that?
It is a lot of work, and it's defined in the book in a lot of ways. But it's when people say it's hard, what does that really mean?
Right.
Well, it's keeping in tune with each other. It's checking in with each other. It's also learning how to fight. You're going to have disagreements, and so I have a lot of do's and don'ts, safety restraints. So a lot of do's and don'ts. It's like wearing your seatbelt, strap in, and get the conversation going. So I do have I give a lot of tips to men about, because sometimes what will happen is, it's, you did this or you did. No, use I statements. It's simple. It's really simple.
But such important tips. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thanks for helping our men out with
Yes.
this.
Thank you, which helps us out.
Can I take 7 copies home today?
I do have a copy for you all.
Perfect. Just pass them out on
We
dates.
all need the manual. Great.
If you want to drive your relationship forward, check out Gale's book, Two for the Road. It's available on Amazon.com, and you can also get more details on her website. Check it out. I cannot wait to pass this book out. When we're back with more broadcasts. Stay tuned.